People who are in the habit of walking or running for exercise around Kampala city will notice that there are some areas where breathing becomes difficult. Most times, it's not just because they are overexerting themselves. A few days ago, real-time data from IQ Air, a Swiss technology company, showed that on 2nd August, Kampala recorded the second worst air quality when compared to other major cities in the world. On that day, Kampala City had a US air quality index of 162, below Kinshasa, which had an air quality index of 181. Joseph Beyanga, a road safety advocate, says in some places around the city, the air is heavier than in other places.
The last time we walked around Kampala with the air monitor, we found this place right here has the cleanest area in the areas of Naria, Chireka, Chambogo, Ntinda. This area where we are in Naria has the cleanest air. The other place where you find air quality which is very good is Kororo, Makere.
According to IQ Air, Kampala's worrying air quality is due to high levels of fine particulate matter, or PM2.5. These are tiny airborne particles that pose a significant health risk because they can be inhaled deeply into the lungs, causing various respiratory and cardiovascular problems.
Basically, what we have, the biggest polluter are the vehicles, and with the borders, the motorcycles, because of their engines and how they process and how they burn oil directly, being the second biggest contributors.
Engineer Julian Owomgisha Tabaro, an air quality advocate, says that although factories are huge contributors to air pollution, there are other contributors.
Unpaved roads, Kampala literally, even the paved, have soil on them. And that rise of dust and oil contributes to our air quality. It's open construction sites, really quite a number of factors, burning trash all over Kampala.
A study titled Association Between Ambient Air Pollution and Respiratory Health in Kampala, Uganda, Implications for Policy and Practice, published in November 2024, found that the overall number of healthcare facility events due to asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, pneumonia, and neonatal pneumonia was 73,375 for the period of 2019 to 2020. Of these, 66,220 were visits and 13,155 were admissions. Pneumonia visits accounted for over half of the healthcare facility visits, followed by asthma visits, which accounted for 42% of the overall visits. In layman's language, the quality of the air we breathe has been compared to the smoking of cigarettes.
But now if I can give you an example, for example, when I was doing my Kampala to Luwero run, when I was around Kawempe, the PM2.5 levels would shoot up to like around 200. To realize that someone in a day in Kawempe is smoking over 20 cigarettes a day. Just from breathing.
Air quality studies have found that sometimes the level of fine particulate matter in Kawempe division reaches 100. At this level, the air quality is considered unhealthy for children, older adults, and those with respiratory issues. The transport sector is a major contributor to elevated pollution levels in Kampala. The city's annual average fine particulate matter pollution exceeds World Health Organization standards by at least 8 times. The heavy reliance on private cars, motorcycles, informal minibus transport systems, and heavy commercial vehicles presents a challenge for addressing traffic-related air pollution in the city. Beyanga calls on the residents of the city to commit to planting trees that can absorb carbon dioxide from exhaust fumes.
Whether you are renting or whatever, plant a tree today. Make it a point to plant a tree at least every month. 2, service your vehicle. If you have a car, make sure it is properly serviced. 3, stop burning kavera. Stop burning your rubbish. Dispose of your rubbish in a very good way.
Studies have found that moss can be an effective remedy for particulate matter in urban areas because it acts as an air filter. Half a square meter of moss can absorb 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide.
It absorbs carbon dioxide 4 times better than trees, but moss is very cheap. It doesn't need any maintenance. It doesn't need any fertilizers. So we are trying to come up with maybe an aesthetic design where people can comfortably have moss around their houses to filter the air they breathe.
The air quality advocate also calls on policymakers to make it a law for industries to adopt the use of wet scrubbers to control air pollution.
Kenya adopted that around, I think, 2022. And really, when you measure the air quality in comparison to when they had not put that rule on industries with to adopt scrubbers, the air quality has improved compared to then.
According to several reports, globally, air pollution is responsible for approximately 7 million deaths annually, imposing a heavy burden on health and economies around the world. Gillian Nantume, NTV, Weekend Edition.